All right, so I want to update everyone on the cases from March 28th and then get into some other stuff. So, Alberta had 79 new cases yesterday, which is basically a record for this stuff. We were down yesterday, but we haven't had any day yet where the cases have been in the 70s. So, this is, it's not looking as good as of recently. Canada is also way up. Obviously, Alberta and Canada are going to correlate rather close. They're up to 5,655 cases with 59 dead. So, again, still hovering around that 1% death rate. Alberta has just two people dead with 621 cases, which is a very good sign for Alberta that just two people have died. But again, Canada as a whole is still way below the average if you compare it to other countries, so that's a good sign. There has been 42,527 people tested, so that number continues to climb rather rapidly. Calgary still has the vast majority of cases with 378 of the 621. Edmonton has 139. The Central Zone has 428. 12 in the South Zone, 43 in the North Zone. But like I said, we're at the point where I think we can start to make pretty good judgments on this kind of stuff. I would wait till this coming week, but if the number continues to climb, it's going to get pretty scary. But like I said, I still think at this point, as a whole, we're overreacting a little bit to it, but it's still a little bit early to tell. So I don't want to make too rash of a judgment at this point, but my guess is that it's gonna have to come down at some point, but it's just a matter of where that number is. But anyway, getting to some other stuff here. This is from Pierre Poilievre. He said on January 28th, or sorry, 29th, MP Generu, other nations are stopping flights in and out of China and introducing more rigorous screening process. Is the PM satisfied with the actions of his government? Justin Trudeau, I can reassure Canadians that the health risk to Canadians continues to be low. Again, Justin Trudeau either completely misjudged the situation, in which case he should be apologizing to people that he misjudged the situation, or he didn't misjudge the situation and he completely effed up. Either way, he should be apologizing. And considering the fact that he hasn't, just goes to show just more and more reasons that you should be distrusting of this government. And like I say, the fact that other countries, literally 2 months ago, it's March 29th today, exactly 2 months ago, were banning flights or at least restricting flights from in and out of China, just goes to show that we had more than enough time and warning to do this kind of stuff. I don't know why we didn't do it earlier. Um, a lot of people were calling for it. The States was more on the ball on this one than Canada was, and yet we didn't do it. And it seems to me that it's partially due to just sheer incompetence, partially due to the fact that we're afraid to be called racist. And it's like I pointed out before, too, that if you're afraid to be called racist when being called racist would literally save probably hundreds of lives, then again, I don't have words for you. And I think that's more than enough evidence to go that goes to show that this whole leftist postmodernist culture has gone way too far, like way too far. And you're really starting to fall on deaf ears. Obviously, not enough deaf ears, but it definitely should be more. Like I said, I just wanted to point this out because a lot of people are pretending that we had no forewarning. Like how are we supposed to know? And when all along you had other countries doing it since January. Again, it makes zero sense. And Justin Trudeau should be held accountable for this kind of stuff, but obviously he isn't. Obviously he isn't. I'd be absolutely shocked. Um, but like I say, it's very shocking, and it just boggles my mind. Why didn't we do something earlier? Um, but anyway, this is from the Toronto Sun. Man accused of attacking York cop from custody, or sorry, recently released from custody an hour earlier because of the COVID outbreak. And this is something that like I really don't understand. Like, why are we releasing prisoners because of this? Like, first of all, it's not that bad yet. It's not like there's massive, outbreaks in prisons. Like, why are we doing this? If we're gonna release people, it should be people that are in there for non-violent crimes, like drug possession, I wouldn't say drug dealing, because a lot of times there's violence, or at least the threat of violence involved with that kind of stuff, but non-violent stuff. Like, we can just put those people on probation. We can do whatever it needs to be done, there, and it's fine. But like someone who gets out of jail and an hour later goes and attacks a cop, I'd be very surprised if that person was in there for a non-violent crime. Like, very surprised. So again, I may be wrong, and if it comes out that I am wrong, so be it. But I'd be very shocked. And logic does not point to someone who attacks a cop an hour after getting out of jail being in there for drug possession. Like, that makes no sense. Maybe like they're like schizophrenic or something like that, but it doesn't make any sense. And again, why are we doing this kind of stuff? The government claims to be, we care so much about public safety, and yet they're doing this kind of stuff. And this is in Toronto. If they're doing it, a lot of people are gonna play the bias card. If they're doing this in Alberta, then Jason Kenney, again, what are you? I'm not saying he is doing it, but if they are doing it, what are you doing? No matter where they're doing this, I don't care what. I mean, Doug Ford is the premier of Ontario, so I mean that's not really an argument. Again, what are you doing? I don't care who's running the province, left or right. NDP doesn't matter. This is a stupid idea, and anyone who does this needs to be called out. And again, does the majority of the public actually agree with this? Like, again, it makes no sense. Um, Last thing I wanted to talk about was Trudeau. This is from Ezra Levant. Trudeau blocked our reporters from visiting Roxham Road to check to see if it's sealed. So we went to a U.S. reporter from the south. It's not sealed at all. No signs, no fence. Oh, and the U.S. cop told us Trudeau let a murderer from New York City through, which is, again, I'm not. I don't know if it's actually Justin Trudeau, but it is the Liberal government. Like, immigration is a federal thing, right? And it's up to them to stop this kind of stuff. And the fact that they're letting a murderer through, again, like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, the ball that's being dropped here is absolutely astounding. And the big problem is this stupid leftist idea that open borders is a good thing. Again, it makes zero sense from the fact that you support borders in other aspects of your life. Like, you don't want to give away. You have all these leftist, academics. They don't want to just let anybody come take their classes and benefit from that. No, they want borders when it comes to that. These leftist celebrities that support open borders. They don't want just anybody to be able to come and live in their house. They support borders when it comes to that. So it's a glaringly contradictory idea, and any idea has that glaring of a contradictions involved shouldn't be entertained whatsoever. And again, why this is a controversial subject, I mean, I understand why it is, but it shouldn't be in the least bit. Like, it shouldn't be in the least bit. Like, the law says you can't come into the country illegally. It makes no sense. And if you let people break laws, like, anybody who comes into Canada through Roxham Road is saying, by definition, by default, that they don't respect Canadian laws. So if they don't respect those laws, what makes you think they're going to respect other laws? Like, it makes zero sense. Like, it's like saying, it's like the leftist idea, oh well, certain laws only apply to certain people. Again, if you say that, then everybody's going to assume that laws don't apply to them. Everybody's going to assume that, oh well, laws are made to be broken, rules are made to be broken. Again, it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense whatsoever. And I don't know why we're doing this. Like, I'd appreciate if someone could give me a good argument to why this is a good idea. Now, the argument will be, and not the whole emotional, oh well, we're a rich country, so we should be letting everybody in. Again, that comes from the idea that resources are infinite. Resources are not infinite, and they're finite. And we can't even afford the lifestyle we're currently living. We can't even afford the amount of immigrants we're currently letting in. It makes zero sense. Like, please, someone give me a good argument that isn't easily debunked about this kind of stuff. Like, I'd really like to see it. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about as far as this video goes. I will be putting out another video later today, so stay tuned for that. I do have my PayPal and email address linked in the description. I appreciate any donations. But at the very least, all I care about, just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already.